Hey, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for taking the time to tune in to my videos. I'm not going to be doing a movie review today, but I will be doing one next week. So stick around if you want to check out some unpacking of some movies that I really fucking love. So today I'm going to do a quick one. I'm going to keep this really straight to the point, and I'm just going to hit the nail straight on the head as much as I can. You've seen the title. Today I'm continuing my Cold Hard Truth series, where I just give you just the fucking straight up facts, no sugarcoating, no sugar, no sweetener, no artificial flavors, and no bullshit. Straight to the point about what you are dealing with when you get a particular sign. I had a friend the other day ask me, do cancer next. And I thought, yeah, I could do cancer next. I've had a lot of cancers, a lot of experience with the old cancer, good old mate cancer. So if you're a Cancerian, please no death threats. I'm going to look at the lighter aspects, and I'm going to, of course, look at the darker aspects because, as I've mentioned before, most people are operating purely from their sun sign. They're only operating from the outer world. They're not operating from the moon, from the inner world, who they really are, because most people have no idea who the fuck they are. And it's a society that demands you to not know who you are. It's, hey, it's not your fault completely. Don't take it personally. It's just the way that it is. Real self-development and self-reflection requires shadow work. And that is very painful in a world that really doesn't ever even address shadow work in any capacity. And bringing me on to the point of this video as well is that you can go to school and you can learn maths and learn how to do sums, and you can learn how to spell correctly and grammar is right. You can learn about the periodic chart and do science stuff, you know. Only problem is all of that is a complete waste of time if you are not connected to your own emotions and you're not connected to yourself. Because if you're not actually emotionally connected to yourself, then you can't actually build any relationship with anyone. You know, so it's all like, it's like, what are you going to do now? You can't connect to others because you're not connected to yourself. And emotions are key indicators to what the fuck is going on with you. So if you don't know how you feel, how are you going to authentically, truthfully connect to other people? You know, I often think to myself, people say, I don't know what I want. Well, then that means you don't know how you feel. And so who we are is based off, we're creatures of desire. You know, we are creatures of desire. It's all based off how we feel and our projection. So that leads me on to this video, starting my first point about cancer and just giving you the truth. I actually don't have really any Cancerians in my life. I do know one, an older female Cancerian. Hello, if you're listening to this video. This video is not really directed at you because you are a beautiful person and I see you and I know you've mastered a lot of your darker shadow stuff. And that's why I enjoy our chats and I enjoy our conversations. But the truth of it is I haven't had any Cancerians in my life really for quite a while. I wouldn't even be able to name one of them other than that particular friend, because actually the truth of it is a Scorpio will fear an Aquarian. A Scorpio will fear another Scorpio if they don't fight it out into the death first, or the Scorpion will definitely fear a Cancerian. Cancerians are very, very dangerous, and the name Cancer is quite fitting in a lot of regards. When we look at the darker side of Cancer, they are a cancer. It's think of a cancer as some kind of malignant tumor that works its way inside of your insides and basically sucks the life out of you and drains you and weakens you and corrupts your own system until the point where your body shuts down. That's what cancer is. It's cells that turned on each other and went backwards and regressed the body. And that is definitely this sign. So the straight up truth is that this sign is incredibly dangerous, incredibly manipulative, and there are more Cancerians in psych wards and in American prisons than Scorpios. Fact. It was an interesting study that came out when they were looking at all the birth dates and looking at all the charts, because it's quite fascinating. But yeah, I mean, I've got people that have their moon in Cancer, and I am very wary of them. That's how bad this sign can be. And I know that because I've had relationships with this sign. Now, this sign is very susceptible to its moon. So if it is a Cancer, say Cancer Sun, and it's got its moon in Leo, then that might balance it out a little bit. But if it's a Cancer moon, Cancer Sun, you are dealing with a very, very powerful and dangerous being that probably doesn't even know its own strength. It probably doesn't even know its own ability. And when I say strength, I don't mean strength as in physical strength, not like an Aries or a Sag. I mean the mental strength of this sign could start a riot. It could incite someone to go kill themselves. This sign can really do a number on someone if they want, because Cancerians are natural psychologists. A lot of them end up in psychology or counseling or nursing or being a doctor, a surgeon, that type of thing. Any type of thing where they're asserting themselves over someone else to feel safe. That's how this sign works. It's a very trepidous sign. They're not direct. Okay, they're not like a Leo. They're not like a Sag in that regard, where I appreciate directness. So if someone says, suck my dick, kiss me, fuck me, that's direct. This sign is more kind of takes a little bite out of you and comes back, and you don't hear from them for a while, and then they come back again. Hey, how you doing? That type of shit. It's not direct. And because it's not direct, it has to rely on other things to get its needs met. It can't just go out into the world and get its needs met. The crab itself is an intertidal species of animal. It's a crustacean, yes, but it lives in water and on land. And it's got its hard outer shell, its pincers that it will grab onto something and it doesn't let go. And it's not an aggressive animal. This is the sign that is the most passive-aggressive sign. The dark side of a Cancer is taking little nips of you, trying to break you down, wear you down, annoy you. They're just annoying. Like in that regard, they can be very annoying. That's the key word. So it's death by 1,000 paper cuts. It's not just like an Aries would just get a sword and just cut off your head. This sign enjoys torturing others and enjoys being tortured. I've discovered a lot of the darker Cancerians, they like to sit in their own shit, like mentally in their own head, and replay events back into their minds and try and distort the memory of someone or the thought process of something that happened in the past. They're always looking backwards. And that's what Cancerians do. They've got one foot in the past and kind of one foot in the present. That trepidous nature, that cautious nature of a Cancerian is very difficult to deal with because they're always living in the past. They're always like, they never get over breakups. This sign never, ever gets over breakups. That's why I don't recommend a sign like Cancer to go out and be promiscuous and form a lot of relationships with lots of different people, because it's really not good for them to do that, because they're just going to create more and more and more trauma, and more problems get added to that pile of lists of X's. So I'm going to go into the darker side. So the first part of it is these guys have a great memory. Their memory is on point. A lot of them have deep mummy issues. All right. So a lot of them, they love their mum, they love their grandma to the point where it's really, really fucked up. Like it's just off the charts. A lot of them never leave home. A lot of them create very sick dynamics with their partners, where their partners have to take care of them and nurture them and look after them, or they're the caretaker and the nurturer. It's a power play. Also with the Cancerian, they create a need that they need to give you. And once the need is fulfilled or its time has come to its end, that's when they get mad. Because say they were helping a recovering alcoholic get sober, And they will do, and they're very good like that. Very good. They are very good nurturers. They like to create a safe place. They like to build a safe home for their family. They like to build a safe environment, that kind of cave that, the crab goes into. But the problem is once the person or the partner or the family member gets healed or gets sober, the need of the Cancerian becomes a threat. The need of them to still be around, to stick around, because they don't need them anymore. And that's when Cancer will, and I've seen this, and I know this is fucked up, but Cancer will actually create a situation or a scenario where they reel the person back into their addiction or let them relapse, because that way the Cancer will still have a hold over them, because that's how they are. This sign is terrible with money and embezzling money. They're always coming up with very quick get-rich schemes. An ego with a Cancerian can be very charitable as well. A lot of them like to work for non-for-profit organizations in the community that are all about helping others and building others up. But it's just the attention seeking and the status of working for some kind of omniscient company that helps others, when the truth of it is they're super money orientated and they love being the center of attention. Also, Leo can do this a little bit as well, where they put themselves in the position of being charitable to others, so everyone else sees them in a way that is, the mother or the father or the archetype of someone who's very maternal. It's a power play. Don't take the bait, okay? If you know a Cancerian that does this shit, then you already know what I'm saying. Run. This is the one sign that can undo a Scorpion. This is the one sign that can fuck with the strong will of a Sagittarian and bring them to the ground. Okay, this is a very, very dangerous sign. Okay, please understand that. I need you to understand that. If you're serious about astrology and learning about psychology and astrological elements of what I call the Godhead and how it all fractals down in the charts, this is a sign that must be treated in the most fragilest, gentlest way. Because like water against a rock, it might take a long time for the water to cut through the rock, but it will cut the rock and break the rock down. I've seen Cancerians ruin people's lives, and they don't know any different. Now, I'm only talking about the darker side here. I will mention some of the wonderful things that that Cancer has. They have a lot to offer as well, so I don't want to make it sound like it's that bad, but yes, it is that bad, and this is the cold, hard truth. So they're very good. They're very focused around family, friends. They have very unhealthy relationship dynamics with their family and their friends, codependence dynamic. I mean, I've never met really a Cancerian that isn't some level of codependent. So if you don't know what codependence is, please go look it up. They're very big on that. They're very secretive, lots and lots of secrets, and their hard exterior that they're trying to protect. They want to know all about you, but you never really know about them. They're very happy to unpack your problems, but they very rarely want to share their problems with you. They find it easier to emotionally manipulate and gaslight you rather than take like a calm approach to life and just being like able to sit down and go through things with you. So it's never their fault. It's always your fault type of thing. And no one can manipulate, as a Scorpio, it's very difficult to manipulate me, but I mean, this sign can come pretty close to it, because once they get inside your head and they naturally understand your psychology, it's very easy for them to twist the way that you look at things or feel about things. So they can use that for evil, like really quite easily. They're always subjected to like a lot of irrational fears that really stem from their emotional trauma of their childhood. So things that could go wrong probably will. So they're very cautious in that regard. Money makes Cancerians feel safe. They will have secret bank accounts. This sign probably wouldn't really want you to would want you to sign a prenup. If you move into their apartment, they'd probably get you to sign a contract, or if you move into their house, saying that if you break up with them, that you can't take them, no alimony, no child support, no, you can't have my assets. Like, they're very focused on assets. They are hoarders. And even in death, the relationship with the Cancerian and their mother will never, ever be severed. There is a theme that I've noticed with the Cancers, where a lot of their storyline or a lot of their timeline is always connected to their mother. The umbilical cord with the Cancerian is never, ever severed, not even in death. They are naturally very psychic, so that's one of the greater things about them. They are very, very intuitive, and they can turn it on, much like the Gemini can. They will show a different character or a different act for every person that they come around. So they can be a completely different person with someone else and a completely opposite with another person. So it depends on where their environment is. They're very sensitive that regard. They love movies. A lot of Cancerians love illusion. That's what this sign is about. Illusion and delusion. Okay, so a lot of it is acting. A lot of them are actors, and they're quite good at acting, I won't lie. A lot of Cancerians, I've noticed, have like an obsession with horror. They love horror films. It appeals to their darker, carnal kind of side. They get off on that shit. They're big babies. When they're sick, they rock, they cry. There's always something wrong, always a hypochondriac, always worrying, always basically in panic mode all the time. That's a big part of who they are. A lot of them have very sad eyes. Their eyes are usually deeper set in the skull, in the face. I've been getting into face reading a lot more lately, so no longer looking at the cards. I'll probably look at your hands and look at your face, and I can go with that way. I will be doing a video actually on face reading at some point. So they don't like change. They don't like anything that comes into their environment that could shake it up. Is very traumatic to a Cancerian. So they're very focused on keeping things the way that they are. They love their food. That's how a lot of them are cooks, or they end up in hospitality. They're very good like that. This sign can cook. I'm not like straight up. They bake, making cookies, making soups. They're really good like that. And they're very naturally talented when it comes to being a mother. Being the archetype of the moon is the mother. So that's giving you what you need, giving you that love, giving you that nurture. And if it's not in a dark place, this can be a really beautiful sign. They really are very thoughtful, very caring, checking in with you, remembering your birthday. They have that side to them as well. So they are very kind in that regard, but this sign likes strings. So like I said, I don't recommend a Cancerian being really promiscuous. It's just not good. They need someone that wants to fuck them, but also look deeply into their eyes and give them that intimacy, because into me I see. That's what Cancerians need. They don't like flings. They like deep, solid, safe, emotional connections. So when I come around a Cancerian that is really kind of like their relationship style is attach abandon type thing, that is terrible, and they can cause a lot of trouble in that regard. I will say one of the worst combinations of signs you can get, other than Aquarius and Leo, so Aquarius sun, Leo moon, would probably be a Gemini sun and a Cancer moon, or a Cancer sun and a Gemini moon. That would be terrible. You could do that being would be able to do so much damage to other people. And I've come across one of those exact people. I was talking about that in my sharing my truth video, where I was talking about that individual. It's terrifying what they can do. So yeah. So with partners, they're very concerned about like where their partner is. They need control over their partner. It's very much do as I say, not as I do. So they want to go out in the world and have fun and go out and dance and have a good time. There is a social side to the Cancer. They're not always homebodies, which is good, but their partner is not allowed to do the same. Their partner has to stay home, and they're very controlling in that regard. Same with Scorpio. The dark side of Cancer is they might lend you money to trap you in financial debt so you can't leave them. They're very big on that. They lay a lot of traps, a lot of scenarios that will bind people to them. So financial dependence or financial manipulation is very common with this sign. And they just have a tendency just to dig in really, really deep. They like to play on your guilt and are very able to kind of slip into a very spiritual place with you very quickly, which can be very intense, which I don't mind actually. Like I do enjoy the conversations with a Cancerian. They tend to be more of that the deeper side, which is what I like. So I don't have a problem in that regard. But yeah, they know instinctively that their mother is the only one that can really unconditionally love them. And when a Cancerian doesn't receive that love from their mother, their whole world is unstable, is completely topsy-turvy, upside down. A big red flag I've noticed, and I'll share with you, if you meet a Cancerian and they're not on good terms with their family, or they're not on good terms with their mother or father, this could mean one of two things. One, they've been like the family has removed them because they're so toxic, or the Cancer had to kind of come to terms with the fact that their mother couldn't give them what they needed, and then the Cancer goes out into the world on their own to try and find that need in someone else, which is why a lot of Cancerian men really gravitate towards women that are like their mother. Same as the Aries. They need a soft place to land. So that's how they are. This sign can say incredibly cruel things to people that will just get them, like it could slice your jugular and you just bleed out on the floor. They can be very unremorseful in that regard. So they don't, once they know you so well, like the Scorpio does, that they know your weak spots and they know how to twist the knife into you, in really horrible ways. This sign is very spoilt. They're usually very spoilt children. They have little tantrums when they don't get what they want. They're very childlike like that. And, the sad part about, or the hard part about the Cancer is the ruling, the moon is not a planet really. It's a giant big reflective rock. It's a reflector, and it doesn't have a light of its own. It just bounces light off other things around it. So it's all based on the shadow and the subconscious mind. And that's, but get this, if a Cancer can master their shadow and know that they don't have to sit in their emotions all the time, the Cancer can create an incredible and fantastic life for themselves. Because emotions come through us, they pass through us, and we let them go. That's the trick here, Cancer. If you're listening and you're a Cancer, you've got to learn to let things go. Come to the conclusion that this chapter, this phase, this relationship is over. And once you accept that, then you can move on and allow new things to trickle into your world. And that's where Cancers get stuck, okay? So they'll have a relationship from 10 years ago and they'll still be bitter about it. Life is for living. Okay, Cancer, life is for living. We can't live in something that's just a memory. They're gone. They're not coming back. Let go. And that's the best advice I could give a Cancer. I was also learning about the power of quietening your mind, quietening your thoughts, and differentiating between something that is real and something that is not real. That will help the Cancer as well. So yeah, now they are naturally very jealous, so I wouldn't really recommend cheating on this sign. You could get yourself murdered. You could get yourself hurt. They are very vindictive. So if you come at them and they feel attacked, they will hurt you. And what's theirs is theirs. So once a Cancerian, that's what I would say. Don't fuck around with a Cancer. If they're a light-sided Cancer and they've done the shadow work and it's all checking out okay and things are moving steadily, then that's great. That's fantastic. But don't lead them on and don't fuck them around. You will regret it. Okay, you will. This sign is not opposed to holding on to things through time. Time doesn't mean much to a Cancer. They don't have, their sense of time is aloofly, like it's distorted in their head. They don't worry, like 10 years could go by and a Cancer could replay something like as fresh as it was just yesterday in their head. So for time in that regard doesn't dim down the memory of things for them. Like I said, the Cancers walk sideways or backwards. That's how the crab moves. So yeah, if you're going to build a real relationship, there's no betrayals, no secrets. They need the real thing. So you, like same with the Scorpios. Anytime they want, you hand over your phone. If you've got nothing to hide, then to a Cancer, you've got nothing to fear. So that's really good in that regard. But yeah, they are naturally very specific, like suspicious of you and very doubtful. So their nature is just that way. They make good counselors at times if they're prepared to do the work on themselves rather than look outside to the world. So I think that's a lot that I've just hit there. I know I cover a lot of ground very quickly in my videos, and I hope that you're able to keep up and you're able to process what I say. I do come from a place of love. Not all of them are bad, but a lot of them are. So be warned. Warning sign, tight grip on those little pincers. When they latch on, they don't let go. But if you want to build a real loving, caring, stable relationship with someone that, yes, they are moody. Yes, the moon regulates the tidal pull. Obviously, the moon is very close to this planet. It's the closest thing. So it just up and down, up and down. It is a roller coaster. But if you want to build something that is stable, that is real, and you're up for strings, then this is the sign. They will build a beautiful home with you. They will create a nurturing and safe place. A lot of them will help nurture and heal you. A lot of them are natural healers, but that's the power that Scorpio has too. They can heal you or they can destroy you. So don't fuck around with the Cancer. All right. Just don't do it. And the most regard is that they are very sensitive to their environment, and they do require a lot of attention. They do require reassurance. They do need you to tell them that they are special, that they are loved. And you should be doing that anyway if you're in a relationship with someone. So I hope that this video was helpful. This was just the cold, hard truth about this sign. I hope that you've enjoyed this video. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Please leave a comment below if you found this video helpful, or what were your thoughts? What are your thoughts with Cancer? I tried not to make this too generic, but yeah, there you go. There is Cancer, cold, hard truth. Have a really great week, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.